Hey guys, it's Mr. Smiley, and we're back with Town Hall 10 Academy. As everybody's league play starts ramping up again, and everybody starts focusing on winning and competitive play, it's time to bring back Town Hall 10 Academy, and this time it's going to be focused purely on 10 vs 11. So we're calling it 10 vs 11 Bootcamp. So the Town Hall 10 meta. The meta changed. Town Hall 11's got their archer towers and their cannons and their infernos all bumped up pretty significantly. Town Hall 10's also got Hog buff, Dragon buff, and Miner 3 that bumped up their 10 vs 10 offense also pretty significantly. So I think the community kind of sat back and looked at that and said, well, 10v11 is going to be dead. We're going to switch to more of a no-dip style format, and it really doesn't seem to be playing out that way now that the 11s are starting to roll out all of their max defenses. 10v11 is still the game. It's just a little bit harder. And 10v10 is a little bit easier, but the success rate for 10v10 is not so high, and the increased difficulty has not reduced the 10v11 so low that it makes sense for clans to start going more 10v10 than 10v11. You still have to take down the 11s with your 10s. And doing it more efficiently and quickly is even more important than ever, because now those extra Town Hall 10 attacks that you have left over after you get the 11s, you actually have a pretty decent chance of doing something with them. So I think for those of us who went through the first 9 weeks of the Town Hall 10 Academy last season, I think the biggest benefit that we all felt like we got from it was learning how to coordinate and plan to take down Town Hall 11s. Town Hall 10s, there's just so much more variety in bases and so much more variety in attack compositions that I think the biggest bang for the buck for the Academy type sessions is going to be 10 vs 11. And while we were doing it regularly, not only did we get, all of the UWA clans that were participating in it got pretty damn good at 10 vs 11. And that's where we want to get back to where we're practicing it regularly with each other, we're sharing ideas, and we're also learning a little bit more about Town Hall 11 bases and base building in general by looking at so many different attacks on the bases. You see so many different other options. I record them all, put them up as recaps, and it builds a library for us during our wars that we can say, hey, I've attacked that base before. Let me go check the recaps, and that way it gives us, at least a starting point. So the Town Hall 10 attack methodology, you look at a base, you come up with a plan, you post that plan for your clan mates, you solicit feedback either by voice or in the chat, or in the text chat with a Sketch or Clash Tracks Tactics Editor. You receive some feedback, you tweak it a bit, and then you go to attack. And when you go to attack, that's what we're looking to focus on here. It's attacking a base that you've looked at before, that you've cooked an army for, and you're getting real-time feedback from your voice spotter while you're attacking. So that's a big part of the sessions, is that it's going to be on voice chat, and there really isn't going to be much that you're going to get out of these sessions unless you're able to join us on voice. So voice is going to be mandatory unless you're just coming with a Town Hall 11 base. So who is Town Hall 10v11 Bootcamp for? Well, obviously, we need to have the Town Hall 10s as participants. We need for Town Hall 11s to show up and build the bases for us to attack. I will build some on my 11, but I'm not going to be able to, be there every second. We want to have multiple bases. That way, if 30 people show up, we can break into 3 or 4 different chats, and we don't have to all be hitting the same base. So it's a lot more efficient. It's a lot more fun. It's geared at league players or aspiring league players, people who want to get good at serious competitive wars. You don't have to be in a league. You don't have to be a serious war player right now, but I just want to set the expectations that we're not going to use a lot of farm bases. We're not going to use a lot of resource ring bases. There are people who can, who enjoy that and are good at those styles of bases. That's not really what we're going to do. We're going to be looking at bases that are in competitive league play. So we want people who want to improve their 10v11 game. I think Town Hall 10 is going to be even more specialized than it has been with 10v11 specialists. We want you to come and have everybody teach each other all of our tricks and techniques to take down 11s. 10 versus 10 specialists. Look, this is not as fun for you guys. I've been focusing on 10v10 too. That can be done in friendly challenges throughout the rest of the week. That's your opportunity to get good at it. 10v11 Bootcamp is your opportunity, for one, eventually you're going to get called on to try to take down an 11, and you want to be able to have some level of competency at doing it. And the other reason to show up is bring your 10v11 specialists so that they all get good at it so that you get those 10v10 opportunities. You must use voice chat. Like I said earlier, you're not really going to get much out of the session unless you're using voice. So what isn't it? It's not instructor-led. I don't have the answers, and I'm not here to teach them to you. It's about everybody teaching each other. It's not a lecture. It's not a friendly challenge party. We're all focused on the attacks that are going on at that time. It's not a shaming session, and it's not full of negativity and people bitching about missed attacks or failed attacks. We're focusing on improving and helping each other improve. So 10v11 may not be dead yet, but we're going to get really, really good at hunting Town Hall 11s, and we're going to take them out. So how does it work? So the overall setup during the week is participants are going to, you join the Town Hall 10 Academy server, and everybody's going to, you're in a war, your clan, nailed 3 of the 4 Town Hall 11s, but then there was one where you had to do an 11v11, or you just were not able to get 2 stars on it. Those are the kind of bases we want to see. The ones against, other CWL, MLCW, whatever clans. We want you to take those bases and submit them in the Town Hall 11 submissions chat. By Friday evening of each week, a coordinator, likely to be me, will pick 2 of those bases and post them in the sessions targets chat as base A and base B. By Monday evening, we need the target 11 base builders to confirm that yes, they are building those, or we're not going to have bases to practice on. So we have 2 different chats, and those will be just kind of chats talking about the 2 weekly sessions. So session 1, we'll be talking about the first session and who's going to be there and who's going to come up with the bases. Session 2, we'll be talking about who's going to be there for for that session to make sure that we have coverage. So here's the actual session times. We're going to try, especially for the preseason, with having 2 one-hour sessions. Let's keep it very short and focused, and that way we can, offer 2 times. You're welcome, encouraged to show up for both of them. I plan on being on both of them, and then you're going to learn more. But it also, there's some availability there that Wednesday 9, West Coast can probably make that. These are East Coast times. Sunday at 8, everybody's encouraged to, get their attacks in an hour so that you can go watch Game of Thrones or whatever. So each session will feature 2 Town Hall 11 base targets, A and B. We need participants to submit targets, otherwise it all comes down to me finding them and, and building all the bases myself, and that's just way too much. So we need people to submit bases, and we need people to build the bases. Those are the 2 big things that require effort and coordination. So the Town Hall 11s, we need you guys to participate, help out the Town Hall 10s. You should build at least 1 of the bases, hopefully 2. And the way that the session format works is everybody gets into the voice chat, everybody goes into the clan, and then we just take turns. And everybody helps one person do the attack while the attack's happening. We get some feedback from that. We tweak our attacks. Then the next person goes. So then I plan on, like with last season, doing a recap video for each week with the best hits against the base. I'm also going to try to create a 10v11 video library that is kind of outside of the academy sessions, which is taking the 10v11 hits, the best ones of each week from all of our clans who want to participate with this and let me know about it, and basically coming up with kind of a compilation from our actual wars so that we have a referenceable database in addition to the recaps. And that way we can get some coverage, so we get the recaps of the ones that you were able to take down, and we get the session recaps of the ones that you weren't. So the rules are, you must be a Town Hall 10 to actually participate. Town Hall 11s are encouraged to attend. We need them for the bases, or else this isn't going to happen. This is not a friendly challenge party. So voice planning and spotting. We don't expect you to be glued for the entire hour. We understand everybody has, families and lives and stuff. But you need to be there for your attacks, and you need to help at least, one other person spotting. So don't just show up for your 5 minutes and then leave. You're free to tweak armies. We can reorder who goes first. That's not a big deal. But we're not going to sit around for an hour while you cook an entirely new army. So there are 2 bases. Try to have both armies kind of cooked in the queue. So where is Town Hall 10 Academy? The clan is going to again be Life Source, and then the Town Hall 10 Academy server is at tinyurl.com/th10 Academy. So we need everybody to show up regularly. The idea of practice is not going to make you better. So I get a lot of people tell me that, oh, this is awesome. I want to show up. I plan on showing up. Oh, damn, I can never make it. Well, that's fine. I don't need you to tell me you're not going to show up. I need people to show up. We didn't really have a problem at all last season with not having participants show up to attack. At the end, while people were starting to kind of get into the playoff mode, the sessions were smaller, about 8 to 10 people. But really, where we need to make sure we have consistent help is submitting new Town Hall 11 bases. It does not take much effort to take a screenshot and post it in there. If we don't use your base, we don't use your base, but you're still helping out. Get your clanmates to show up, have your leaders announce it, make it part of your regular schedule. I mean, where else are you going to get this much 10v11 focus for an hour? Get your Town Hall 11 clanmates to volunteer to build the bases and show up regularly also. And we've, since we're picking the best bases that all of us are facing each week, and they're building it anyway, you're getting a really good base. I think at one point half the UWA was using Academy bases. So, that's kind of a perk, is that you get a pretty solid war base out of it. So, hope everybody shows up. The first one's going to be next Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to this, and so let's get fired up for 10v11 boot camp.